What's up, brother? You know, we've been working hard for a long time, you know what I mean? And this is basically makes me happy, and to see my dad that he's able to buy himself, you know, a house with a big private gym. I know there's a lot of things that we could accomplish, and there's a lot of things that we could give back, not only to our people, but to our community, you know what I mean? We got a lot of fighters here. One of our friends painted this. He goes to the first Benavidez boxing gym, the one in Burien. He paints them all himself, so he's a talented brother. So but yeah, this is my dad's design, you know what I mean? This is actually my first time, you know, starting training camp here in this gym.
Stretch it down, pull it up. Ready, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power, 4, power, 3, 2, one more. Good, under here, roll under the bed.
Gervonta, Tank Davis, and David Benavidez are currently training together as both fighters prepare for their highly anticipated returns to the ring. Their shared training camp has quickly become one of the biggest talking points in boxing.
10 seconds! Super focused, super motivated.
You gonna feel all this we gotta do? Look, hey Tank, we gonna go 35 for 12.
According to reports discussed by Fan and Boxing, Tank Davis has officially moved on from longtime trainer Calvin Ford and is now working alongside Jose Benavidez Sr. The decision has surprised many fans and experts, raising questions about how this new partnership could impact Tank's future performances and overall development.
Seems like it's official that Gervonta Davis has a new trainer named Jose Benavidez. In this video, though, because there's a lot of conversations going on about what this means for Gervonta Davis as far as his skill set, as far as like his motivation to be in boxing, and whether or not Jose Benavidez Sr. can ignite that fire in Gervonta Davis. Well, in this video, I want to talk about that, but I also want to talk about a real reason for what took place in Gervonta Davis's camp. And one of the reasons that he's no longer with Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin. And I think it's an important thing to say because it's not all on Coach Calvin, it's not all on Coach Kenny, and it's not all on Gervonta.
Some boxing insiders believe the relationship between Tank and his former camp gradually broke down because trust began to disappear. Reports suggest that private information from the training camp was repeatedly leaked, creating frustration and damaging the team's unity.
I have been paying attention to that camp for a while. I know people in that camp. I know people around that camp. And I can tell you without a doubt that the major issue with Gervonta Davis and that particular camp was the fact that there's so many paid snitches in his camp. It was replete with family members and other people who, whenever they got a piece of information about Gervonta Davis, would try to go out and give that information to somebody else in exchange for money. So Gervonta is looking up at the internet, seeing what's being said about him, hearing this information coming out about himself, and saying, "Man, where is this?"
As those problems continued, the camp reportedly became much more careful about protecting private information. Media access was reduced, and stricter communication rules were introduced in an effort to prevent further leaks. and keep the focus on training.
Originally, and this was a couple years ago, I remember when Gervonta started getting upset with it, and he started blocking people and getting mad about stuff, and he started telling Kenny and Calvin, that basically not to be announcing things, not to say things about who he's going to fight next or what he's going to do next, because Gervonta started getting irritated about that. I also know that Calvin Ford stopped talking to the media for a long period of time. Kenny Ellis stopped talking to the media about Gervonta in that way because they were appeasing Gervonta and Gervonta's desire to have that information kept in-house, right? So to the extent that they were having conversations that Gervonta Davis didn't want to have, they had nipped that in the bud several years ago.
Several commentators have claimed that confidential details from inside the camp were being shared online, leading to speculation and unwanted distractions. Some analysts even compared the situation to psychological tactics seen during famous boxing rivalries, where outside pressure became part of the battle.
However, what happened is you have family members and other members in the gym that have connections with people that have Twitter pages, connections with people that have YouTube pages, and they continued, the people with the Twitter pages and the YouTube pages continue to pay these people money for inside information about Gervonta, and he got very distrustful. Now, if you think, okay, well, man, that's not that big a deal. You go and, people know, it happens all the time where you have spies in camp. Like one particular incident that I know about that really enlightened me to that problem in boxing was when Andre Ward was fighting Sergey Kovalev, and Andre Ward was just being very vocal about knowing what was going on with John David Jackson and what was going on with Sergey Kovalev. And he was telling basically, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're drinking this and you're drinking this and you're doing that, and your problem was here and your problem is there. Andre Ward knew the whole thing. How? Because he had a spy in the camp. The problem with that with Gervonta is when you have spies around him in his family, in the gyms in Baltimore, you have people that leak information that are trying to harm.
Former world champion Sean Porter believes Tank could benefit from the fresh atmosphere created by Team Benavidez. He suggested the new environment and different coaching style may provide the motivation needed for the next stage of Tank's career.
I'm not sure if that's a great matchup.
I feel like there's some comfort there.
Is that what it is?
I feel like that's what it is. I feel like there's some.
They both
there.
killers.
He's down in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Miami, yes.
Washington.
Yeah, he's between
Seattle, Washington, Florida, Arizona, Vegas.
He be everywhere.
Yeah. Which might match the lifestyle of Gervonta Davis.
Yeah. Surprising to see it. I think. But I feel like he's comfortable with Jose.
Porter also explained that every elite fighter eventually needs something that reignites their competitive drive. He believes the relationship between Tank and Jose Benavidez Sr. could develop into a strong partnership built on trust, communication, and shared goals. Not everyone is convinced the move will be successful. Boxing analyst Anthony Byrne questioned whether Jose Benavidez Sr. can recreate the same success he has enjoyed with members of his own family while working with a completely different fighter like Tank Davis.
And just telling y'all what I know, sometimes that's all it takes. Whatever's going to get this light flip up, turned on, and keep it on, sometimes it's comfort. I just need somebody that I feel comfortable with, that I can be myself with, and that, when I'm ready to move, they moving. When they ready to move, I'm moving. And I feel like he thinks he has that with Jose.
I don't know.
That's just right off the top of the head.
He likes to move when he wants to move.
Sean Zittel admitted that the split between Tank Davis and Calvin Ford remains difficult to understand. He praised Ford for helping build Tank from the beginning and developing one of boxing's most exciting champions through years of hard work.
That's a weird one for me. I ain't gonna lie.
Why?
It's just only like it's paired up right. Like I feel like Jose can definitely train his son. I'm not sure about everything.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We seen him train Jose and David, and then also
Pacheco and Rayo.
Jose Rayo, yeah, and Pacheco as well. Pacheco isn't with him,
and they both are going.
And they both are.
Zittel also reflected on the strong relationship Tank and Ford once shared. Throughout Davis's career, Ford was often credited with helping him overcome difficult moments inside and outside the gym, making the current situation even more surprising.
But I just don't. I don't add up the beef with him and Calvin Ford. Really, I guess Calvin may have done an interview or two that Gervonta didn't like, but it's like
that made no sense, man.
Look, I remember when I saw Truck Simpson spar before Truck tailed off. When he had promise, no offense, Truck, much love to you. But when Truck was 18, 19 years old, and it was like, oh, this kid, he has talent. He has real upside. He threw his punches in the same way Gervonta Davis did. He had a lot of the same kind of rhythm that Gervonta did. And that's what made me go, Calvin is a good trainer. Even though Calvin didn't move the needle for Jahan Ingram over the weekend. Jahan Ingram lost to Devin Cushing. It didn't look like Calvin had a big impact on him winning, and he wound up losing to Devin Cushing. Devin Cushing, bigger guy anyways. But when I saw Truck do that, I go, okay, so Calvin has an imprint. He has a system. There's a way a guy he builds from scratch in the Baltimore amateur program looks. And so that made me lend more credence to.
Although Tank has now fully committed to training with Jose Benavidez Sr., uncertainty still surrounds his next opponent. Rumors previously suggested that a fight with Floyd Kid Austin Schofield had been finalized, but no official announcement has confirmed those reports.
I just remember Tank being in the gym for the Santa Cruz fight, came in heavy and was in Floyd's gym, and he didn't that spark didn't come and Floyd was trying to get it out of him. It wasn't really happening in the first couple weeks. He had to wait to wire. He had a couple months until the Santa Cruz fight date. But once Calvin came to the gym from Baltimore, the spark started and the light came on, and I was like, that's a bond. And I don't know. I'm just, it's like I don't know what the big beef is. Why Calvin built you from scratch. He has always went to bat for you, even when you make it very hard for someone to go to bat for you with all the shit you put you yourself and your fan base through and the boxing world through. And Calvin's always tried to say the right things to not offend you. But hey.
Tank also stirred excitement on social media by sending strong messages toward both Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Those comments immediately sparked fresh debate among fans, with many wondering which top contender will eventually face him inside the ring.
And Floyd Schofield are edging a little bit closer to a fight. What are you hearing from that end?
Yeah, I'm hearing all positive. I'm hearing these negotiations have been progressing in a very positive way between the sides of Gervonta Davis and Floyd Schofield. Now, we have not seen Gervonta Davis in the ring since that disputed draw against Lamont Roach early last year. We have not seen Floyd Schofield in the ring since the stunning one-round knockout over Tevin Farmer last June. There were some plans back in April to get Floyd Schofield into the ring, but he and his father, who's also his manager, who's also his co-trainer, they said, we don't want any kind of stay busy fight. We want a world title fight, and they want that fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. Again, I am told a lot of positive progress to the point that they're discussing dates for this fight. They're discussing late September or early October to match Floyd Schofield against Gervonta Davis for that WBA 135-pound title.
All right, I got one more for you.
Floyd Schofield Sr. responded with heavy criticism, accusing Tank of using social media to shift attention away from questions surrounding his next fight. He argued that the online callouts were distracting fans from ongoing discussions about mandatory challengers and future title obligations.
I said to this, right? And I don't hide it. I said that I think that there's 3 people in the world that I think that could beat Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
Yeah,
right.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me, Gervonta Davis. That's the only person. Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring with me. They all been in the ring with me. They all been in the ring, and I cracked both of them. I feel you, but check this right there. But okay, so you telling me you cracked both of them, right? But I was also told that Devin got the best of you in the last sparring session. He didn't get no best of me. He did not get no best of me.
He jumped right off the plane and sparred Devin. Right off the plane.
No best of me. He didn't get no best of me.
Let me something, man. You can go on the internet.
And I sparred him twice.
Right. And Bill
took him out the ring.
And Bill admitted that. Bill and Dan both said that.
Almost knocked him out in Floyd gym. Did they tell you that? Did they tell you I almost knocked him out in the gym? Did they tell you that?
I don't know, but I ain't hear that.
Oh, okay.
I ain't hear that.
Schofield Sr. went on to express concern about the direction of modern boxing. He believes too much attention is being placed on publicity and financial rewards instead of competition, arguing that young fighters should be encouraged to earn championship opportunities through performances inside the ring rather than outside distractions. A.S. Tank Davis begins this new chapter with Team Benavidez. Boxing fans continue to debate whether this major career change will unlock an even better version of the undefeated star, or whether leaving the team that helped build his success will prove to be a costly decision. Only his next performances inside the ring will provide the answer.